The church behind me was built as an act of penance for the sins of France, and it has the most extraordinary view in Paris. Hi, I'm Amy with Travel by Mike, and I am at the top of Montmartre, Sacré-Cœur, and it is one of those Paris experiences that every client puts on their list for a very good reason. The climb up the steps, the white Basilica, the panoramic views over Paris from its terrace, it is extraordinary. Today I'm giving you everything you need to know to make the most of your Sacré-Cœur visit, including the things that most guidebooks miss. Sacré-Cœur, the Sacred Heart Basilica, sitting at the very top of the Butte Montmartre, the highest point in all of Paris, 130 meters above the city. You can see those extraordinary white domes from almost anywhere in Paris. And the approach up this main road, past the merry-go-round, the souvenir stalls, and the funicular, gives you the first glimpse of the basilica appearing above the rooftops. It is one of the great arrival moments in Paris. Even when you know it's coming, it still stops you. We are at the bottom of the hill. The Sacré-Cœur is behind me. It is absolutely stunning. There are 300 steps to get up to the top. Funicular is right off to my right. It is one metro ticket to use the 90-second ride up. But if you have mobility issues, it is definitely worth it. It's absolutely stunning. Very touristic-y, so be careful up there. Have your belongings with you and in front of you.
I just walked up to go get a picture about halfway, and it was the first time in Paris I've actually seen the friendship bracelet scam. If they go to make a friendship bracelet on you, they say it's free, they'll put it on you, it's going to be stuck on you, they will ask you to pay. So the first time I've ever seen it, but obviously it's all
right. We're going to go up to see the scammers. Got my Insta360 in my left hand. So again, they frequent the touristic areas. You can listen for no merci. Makes you sound French. No merci. There they are. They've got the bracelets in their hands. So you can see that they got his attention. They approach you, they talk to you, they get friendly with you. Then they grab your wrist and tie a friendship bracelet on it, and before you can stop them, they demand payment from you. On the other side, there are two more that are posted in the same spot as the other side. Now, they really didn't bother with me because I had cameras in my hand, and that's not what they want. But you can see the bracelets there, and they will just try to chat with you. And this is the funicular. One of two ways to get up to Sacré-Cœur without climbing the 300 steps yourself. It costs one metro ticket each way. You could buy tickets right at the ticket booth at the bottom, or use your Navigo pass or the passes you have loaded up onto your phone. But honestly, it's part of the experience. And there it is, all of Paris spread out below you, the Eiffel Tower in the distance, the Seine winding through the city, rooftop after rooftop as far as you can see. Sacré-Cœur was built between 1875 and 1914, although it was not consecrated until 1919 after World War I finally ended. The construction took so long partly because of the unusual soil conditions beneath Montmartre. The limestone here is riddled with old gypsum quarries, and the foundations required 83 enormous concrete pillars sunk deep into the ground just to stabilize the building. Entry is completely free. But there's almost always a queue, especially in the middle of the day. The best times to visit are early morning when it opens at 6 a.m. or in the late afternoon when the crowds thin slightly. Moving around the right side of the church and looking up at the dome from below. The main central dome of Sacré-Cœur rises 83 meters above the ground. You can climb inside. There is a spiral staircase that takes you all the way to the very top for a 360-degree view over Paris that is even higher than the view from the steps. The climb, again, 300 steps, but the view is extraordinary. And the reason Sacré-Cœur was built here is as extraordinary as the building itself. After France's catastrophic defeat in the Franco-Prussian War of 1870 and 1871, and the violent uprising of the Paris Commune that followed, a group of French Catholics vowed to build a church dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus as an act of national penance. They raised money through public subscription. Over 10,000 individual donors contributed. Sacré-Cœur was built by the people of France as a collective act of contrition, and they chose the highest point in Paris so it could easily be seen by the entire city, every single day without stopping. I have to be honest with you, I don't have any interior footage, but the interior is dominated by one of the largest mosaics in the world, Christ in Majesty, a 19-meter wide image covering the entire ceiling of the apse. Extraordinary. And there has been a continuous cycle of adoration maintained in this church since 1885. And this is where most visitors stop, right at the front steps. The famous view, and then they just leave. But if you keep walking all the way around this building, you find something completely different. The quiet staircases on both sides, the angles that nobody photographs, the Paris that is not on any postcard. This is what happens when you wander instead of just arriving and leaving. Walking down the left side of the church, and there's something that most people just walk right by. Right here beside Sacré-Cœur is a much older and much more modest building. The Église Saint-Pierre de Montmartre was built in 1147. That's almost 730 years old, before the first stone of Sacré-Cœur was even laid. This is one of the oldest churches in Paris, older than Notre Dame, and most visitors walk straight past it on their way to the famous white domes. The contrast between these two buildings is one of the most extraordinary architectural moments in all of Montmartre. Ancient, modest, weathered stone right beside gleaming white Roman Byzantine grandeur. Look for it. Don't walk past it. And up close, the stone itself tells you something extraordinary. Sacré-Cœur is built from a limestone called Château Landon Travertine. It has a remarkable self-cleaning property. When it rains, the calcite in the stone bleaches itself white again. That is why this church has stayed this brilliantly white for over 130 years without any cleaning of the stone. The dark staining you can see here is simply the areas the rain cannot quite reach. Even the building is working to stay beautiful. Around the back of the church, the crowds disappear almost entirely. The noise falls away. You get the architecture without the selfie sticks and tour groups, the smaller domes, the apse, the beautiful stonework that nobody ever gets to photograph because they don't come back here. And the gargoyles. Sacré-Cœur is not Gothic. It's Roman Byzantine, but it still has its guardians watching over the city from the back of the building. These details are invisible from the front. From the famous steps, from the postcard angle, you only find them if you walk the whole way around, which almost nobody does. And there is this little park directly behind the Basilica, and the view of the whole building from that angle is completely different from anything you see from the front. The full scale of it, the way the domes rise above the roof lines, the apse and the smaller chapels radiating outwards. Most visitors spend their entire time at Sacré-Cœur looking out at Paris from the steps. Take 10 minutes and walk all the way around to this park. Look back at the church from here. It is beautiful, and you will almost certainly have it to yourself. Sacré-Cœur, built as penance, standing as one of the great Paris landmarks, and that view, completely free. If I can help you plan your Paris trip, drop a comment or reach out. I'm Amy, always the adventurer. Keep wandering, wanderlusters, and I'll see you on the flip side.